2019. So we are talking about a fresh teen here, if I can put it like that. You have quite a bio here, sir. So he matriculated in 2019 with a bachelor's pass. He is a current student of the second best university in South Africa, UJ, studying BA in Humanities. Yes, UJ students, we must flex. He released his first book, I think he was doing matric, right? In 2019, Infinity. He has had several interviews in South Africa, television and radio interviews with the likes of Tshwane TV. He has been interviewed by Charles Ngobeni and the one and only Bishop Maponga. You are so fortunate. And he is the ambassador of the United Nations Youth. He has represented South Africa in Turkey. So we are speaking about someone who has been abroad. He also went to the United Arab Emirates in Dubai this year. So we are speaking to someone who has shared the same air with the likes of the riches of this world. We are fortunate to have you. And he is about to release his second book called Rethinking Black Consciousness. I think we should also add the issue of system there in the Black Consciousness. And he's also an investor, of course, in Livestock in Limpopo. So I'm going to emphasize again that every speaker that comes here, apart from the passion that they have, they are educated. Amen? People who are asleep, they need education alongside your passion. So, with a huge round of applause, may we please welcome Mr. Sambo.
1, 2, 1, 2. And we must grill him with questions, right? Not one is going to be saying, I like that question and answer session. Mr. Sam.
You're going to need lights for it.
Ishanganshaka ina iri inhlekani. Sanbonani. Good afternoon. Goeiemiddag. Guys, it sounds like you're asleep. What's wrong? Come on, wake up. Could you please stand up and just shake yourself? Please stand up. Just a minute, shake yourself. Loosen up. I don't like speaking to dead people. So when I say up, you sit down. When I say down, you stand up, right? Just a quick icebreaker exercise. Up. When I say up, you sit down. When I say down, you stand up, right? Listening is a skill, guys. Up. Up, you sit down. Yes. And down. Up. All right. You may all sit down. I see you are now awake. So, the first thing I'd like to ask, who wants this book? Come get it. What you've just seen there is my first lesson of entrepreneurship and hustling. In hustling, you need to understand that nothing is ever going to come to you. And you need to know what you want, number one. And you need to have the courage to go and get it. I saw a young man jump some chairs to come and get the book. Actually, you know what? I love your passion. May you also please give him a copy. So number two, I'm gonna keep it short. Like Dala Silana, you know what I mean? And we've been learning a lot, and I don't want to. Don't jump. Get the passion. Number two, guys, you must know your worth. As black people, you need to know your worth. I remember what Bishop Maponga once said. He said the apartheid government did not win by subjugating black people and making whites richer. It won by making black people feel that none amongst them is worthy of success. What does that mean? It means that we as the young black people have been instilled with an inferiority complex. As we are right here, if a white man were to come, everyone would start shaking, and everyone would look at them. You know what I mean? If they said there's a white speaker, everyone would be like, I don't know, they would have been like, I'm 10 minutes, fast. There's a white man who's about to speak. Why is that an issue, right? The inferiority complex has made us to believe that we are not at the level of humans. It made us feel that we are subhumans. And that's why I've heard a lot of speakers complain about one thing, that we need to respect each other as black people, respect each other's businesses, we need to respect one another, and we need to have the courage to start our own businesses. We don't support one another because of an inferiority complex. A white person will start the same business that a black person starts, and then we're going to support the white person. Why? It's because of an inferiority complex that we feel that the black person's business is not worthy, is not at a high standard or something like that. So with that, I want to encourage you to support black guys. You know what I mean? I made a decision last year, and last year I think, that I'm never going to wear external brands. You know what I mean? Support Batu guys, support Drip, let us support black people, let us support one another. If we don't support ourselves, no one is going to support us. If we don't employ ourselves, if we don't start our own businesses, no one is going to do that for us. So right here as black people, if Mpo or whoever starts a business, let us make more seminars and support one another. Let us stop going out there, and that's how the Indians and everyone work and operate. That's what I've been seeing on the international market. Indians, wherever they are, they eat Indian, they dress Indian, and they endorse Indian businesses. That's what we are lacking in the black communities. And then, on the point of don't be afraid to charge, right? I want to also encourage you, right? Don't take it as if I'm boasting, right? I'm just boosting you guys. So don't say, hey, we are scared or what, no. You know what I mean? It's possible if you invest in yourself. If you invest in yourself, there are people out there who are going to be willing to invest in you. Don't be afraid to charge, and don't be afraid to invest in yourself. And you need to know that money goes where money is. So if you invest in your mind and become mentally valuable and valuable in the market, people are going to be, they will pay literally any amount for you to present yourself or for you to do whatever it is. So today, yeah, fine, I may have come for free. Like Mpoye, my brother, you are very lucky. Today I came for free, right? But out there we charge, we don't play. I've worked with the government, the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and Department of Sports, Arts, Culture, and Libraries. Now, I've made a 2-minute video. A 2-minute video of my book review of Infinite T. And guess how much was the invoice for? 10,000.
Wow.
2-minute video. 2-minute video, and I made 10,000 out of that. I've went to another department's event 2 days only, and it was also 10,000. You understand what I mean? So it's really possible, guys. This life of entrepreneurship is possible. And in the black communities, we have this thing, if you want to work for yourself, we discourage one another and say, you're not gonna make it. Who's done it? Why you? You understand what I mean? We need to change that. We need to change that, and we need to invest in ourselves, right? So let me get towards the purpose of my talk. Success needs to be purposeful, guys. Success or whatever hustle you do needs to have a purpose. If it doesn't have a purpose, you are going to use the earnings and the profits or whatever it is to impress the states. You are going to use the profits to basically, I don't know, change your image. You know what I mean? Use it for stuff like sexual promiscuity, change partners and stuff like that, if it does not have a purpose. Success needs to have a purpose. Why are you doing whatever you're doing? I write and I speak to motivate young black people to say it's possible. To motivate young black people to say, let us stop settling for the economic crumbs. Let us go for the economic cake. We can't be settling for economic crumbs in our own land. We are South Africans, but we are fighting for the economic crumbs. Is that right? That does not make sense. We should be fighting for the economic cake. Indians, Somalians, and everyone is coming into South Africa. They see the economic cake. They don't settle for the crumbs. They find their corner, they start businesses. What are we doing? On every corner, go to every black community. On every corner there is a church, and there's only one business in that community, and that's a bottle store. And it's a bottle store enriching our minds. You go to every Indian community and Somalian communities, on every corner there's a business, and in the middle, there's that one church or a mosque. We need to also become spiritually united. We can't be using every corner to pray for opportunities and jobs. We need to be investing and starting businesses in order to succeed. That's the mandate of the present youth. It is shocking that 50% of young people are alcoholics. You know what I mean? That's really shocking statistics. Which time are you using to think if you are never sober? Which time are you using to think if you are always watching the television? You need to decide. It's either you're going to have a bigger library or a bigger television, but one brings income and one takes it out. You need to make decisions. Success is all about being decisive. It doesn't just happen miraculously. You decide. I decided to live this life. Mpho decided to live this life. Every speaker here made a decision to say, you know what, I'm done with this life. Success is difficult. This thing of entrepreneurship, business, what, and everything, yes, I get it. Yes, I've been to Turkey, I've been to Dubai, flying Emirates and all those things, you know what I mean? But it's not easy. It's not easy. You need to lose sleep. You're going to have to do things that no one is willing to do. If you ask me right now, I met this guy about to you, his name is John Gatti. I'm sure some of you know him. I met him at Dubai, we landed together. You know what I mean? And he was speaking Tsonga with his girlfriend, right? And like I approached him, like, you know, it's exciting. You know, you land somewhere and you hear people speaking your home language. And we start speaking and I'm like, so who are you? And he's like, you don't know me. You know what I mean? He was shocked. But what I'm trying to say is when you're hustling, you don't have time to going all over social media, checking who's doing what, who's who, who's what. You don't have time to be watching television. If like television, some of the celebrities were to come here, I wouldn't even recognize any of them. Because I'm working. You understand what I mean? I'm making time to secure the bag. If you invest, let's say maybe 1 hour, or maybe, like let's be honest guys, people might scheme some up to maybe the queen. How many hours is that? That's like 4 hours.
4 to 5.
4 to 5 hours. Monday to Friday. 5 hours, 5 times 5, how many hours is that? 25 hours.
A week.
And then Saturday, only once. You know what I mean? You know, heavy and short task. But Saturday you want to see that again. What are you doing with your life? You know what I mean? You need to get serious about this life thing. You watch another 5 hours on Saturday. Now how many hours is that? 30 hours. And then on Sunday, what do people do on Sunday? Oh yeah, they go to church and then, I don't know what you'll do later on. But 30 hours. We say read a book, I don't have time, I'm busy. What? Mara, 30 hours you're watching television. And you say you're not successful. And you say you can't even make it. And you go to the streets and say you are unemployed. Is that not a joke? That's a joke, guys. 30 hours. Why don't you invest 1 hour to reading or whatever, knowledge and everything like that? A day. 1 hour a day, maybe for 6 or 7 days, that's 7 hours. Invested in 2 weeks, that's 14 hours. Invested in a month, that's how many hours? 28. Invested in a year, 280 plus. Yeah, it's a lot. But 300 and something hours invested into gaining knowledge. That's how it works. I invested an hour every single day writing Infinite Team. An hour every single day for 3 years, from the year 2016 until 2019, I was writing Infinite Team. I was staying home. I had to make sacrifices. I lost friends. I lost so many things. That's the sacrifice you make for ambition. That's the sacrifice you make for this life that you want to live. This soft life thing. Soft life, you need to go through the hard life to get the soft life. You don't go through the soft life to get the soft life. You go through the soft life, you'll end up with the hard life. You have to do what's hard now in order to live the soft life later. You know what I mean? Life is amazing, guys. I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie. 5-star hotels, Dubai. I was relaxing. And I was like, you mean Aloy? You know what I mean? I was born in a hut in Limpopo. In one of the villages. Like, even if I tell you the name of this village, you're going to be like, what? Some of you might not even pronounce it. Hijamanden village. You check it on a map, you're not going to see it. It's very difficult to even find. But like, the way God has transformed my life, I wish I could make you imagine yourself if you were to make the sacrifices that you need. You know what I mean? I wish I could just make you realize that. Like that you have the potential. You know, like guys, it's not easy. Stay spiritually grounded. Some of us fast like 21 days and everything. Anyone who's ever fasted knows it's not easy. We fast. You know, we pray, we read the Bible, we fight for this life. You know, it doesn't come for free. You need to work for it. And that's the attitude that South African youth don't have anymore. We just want things to come easy. You need to fight for this life, guys. It's possible. You need to hustle for it, you know. And then let me get to the other part of my talk. Like, you need to study, you need to read books. The educational system of South Africa is messed up. We have what is called the rote learning education, meaning that you copy the material that you're learning from a textbook and you deposit it into the exam paper. What they are doing is they are producing memorizers. They are producing memorizers, meaning that what you are being taught is to ask, what am I supposed to do? Not why. If you ask why, it means you are a rebel to the system. They are producing employees. That's some of the studies that I made in my book, Rethinking Black Consciousness. The education that we have, people are like, yeah, we are not free. They are producing employees out of you guys. How can you cram? Dr. Mushalika, a Zambian professor, once argued that you can't be cramming how many teeth a dog has, how many times a Muslim prays. You are cramming the whole night. When how many times does a Muslim pray? You understand what I mean? And you go and write in an exam and think that you are going to change. How are you going to change the world? What are you going to do with how many times a Muslim prays? What are you going to do with the number of teeth a dog has? Let's think about it. You know what I mean? Other countries have industrial education. Young Chinese are being taught how to produce, whereas young South Africans are being engineered to become sex machines, being taught sex and everything like that. Is that education? No. So you need to rebel against the system by reading, learning. Read Robert Kiyosaki's material, How to Make Money, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Forbes Africa, all these books that are going to open and unlock your mind. So then you can start having ideas of how can I change my life? Learn and grasp the mindset of these successful guys. The education that we have is just going to make you an employee, because what they are doing is worth memorizing. You go to school, you memorize, you go to an office, and then you do the same thing every single day. Admin, when you just deal with that admin thing. People fill in names, and then people do this, and then you do that for 30 years, and you said you lived. Come on, you are dead. You are walking dead. You know, entrepreneurship is nice because it allows you to be explorative, to try new things every single day. There's never a day that's the same in entrepreneurship. Every day, like you wake up and be like, wow, so what am I going to do today? You know what I mean? Every single day is a mystery. That's the beauty of this. And then let me go to financial lessons. You don't just make it, right? You need to understand the language of money. Money has two parts of speech from what I've learned. You can argue with that and find your own, it's fine. But from what I've learned and from the arguments I've made, right, is that money has two parts of speech. It's a language, which is hustling and investing. And I know this because I've been bankrupt twice. Don't ask how. At this age, I've been bankrupt twice. Not broke, right? But bankrupt. But when you are broke, it's like, yeah, like right now I'm broke. I don't have money to do what I want. When you are bankrupt, you have money to do nothing. You have no money, you have no investment, you are just living. You know what I mean? You're down and out. I've been bankrupt twice. Now, what is hustling? Hustling is basically, let me say opanda. You know what I mean? It's testing out and, trying and testing out just to make money. I started hustling just like in high school. I was selling sweets, like in grade 11. I was selling sweets, snacks, and everything like that. It was illegal, and I knew, but I was selling. I was moving merchandise. You know what I mean? And I was making money. I had a bank account, and my mother used to basically give me 300 rand allowance. And then, like, financial crisis, I died at home. I blew the 300 rand, and I was left with 50 rand. And then I was like, okay, now what's the plan? Now, I think it was around 15 February or so. So I look at the month and I'm like, damn, this thing.
After Valentine's, we see.
Yeah.
We see when you do the month.
No. Let me fix your leadership. You know when you're asking, there's no Valentine. When you're asking,
we see you.
Yeah. When you're asking, there's no Valentine, trust me. She's like, I want the chocolate. You're like that. You know what I mean? You're thinking about profits.
Yes.
Mara, it was after Valentine.
I see.
So 13 days left of the month. Now I have 50 rand. So okay, sharp. Now what's the plan? Now I need data. I go to my old lady meeting. I'm shy. It rains. You know what I mean? Storm hits. She shouts. How are you gonna be responsible? You are blowing money. What? Make a plan. Okay, sharp. I'm thinking now. Okay, fine. If I spend 85 rand for data, and then I'll be left with 15 rand for the whole month, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, sharp. Now what's the plan? And then that's when I started thinking about business. I said, let me start a business. Took the 50 rand I went. It was just before Easter, After Valentine, as you said, there were no chocolates anymore. You know, they are done making profits.
Yeah.
So they put the Easter eggs on the shelves. I buy the first batch. It was still 6 rand. I want to see 3 rand, and then I said I'm gonna go and sell. I failed. The first week I failed. Nobody bought. I went again. After 3 days, and like I bought others. I failed. I'm scared. Meantime, you know when you've never hustled, you've never done anything. Nah, it's scary. It's like never standing on stage. You're too, son. I go to the primary school next door, nobody buys. They even start making jokes of me. Oh, Mr. Ban, you are bad. You know what I mean? That thing was starting to take a toll on my confidence. And then, sharp, I was left with 15 rand. Nah? And then I'm like, okay, fine, what's the worst that can happen? Let me just blow this man. And then I'm going to shop right, and then I saw these other, you know Monster Pops, Angitina? Do you know Monster Pops? Yeah. Oh, I can speak, but it's like, you know, I'm scared. I thought maybe we're not from the same generation, you know. So like, we have Monster Sweets, the smaller version. So then the Monster Sweets are 11 rand. I have 15 rand. And I said, let me buy, it's fine. If I become bankrupt, it's fine. 77 inside. Now, I bought it, I went to school. I tried selling it, it failed again. But after school, a friend of mine was like, oh, you have new merchandise. I'm like, sure. He's like, let me taste. I purchased it 1 rand. Now, purchased it. He tasted and it was nice. And then, this is where you need like serious and like friends of like birds of a feather who will like flock with you. You understand what I mean? People who will understand the situation that you are going through at home, but not laugh at you, but support you. He took a 10 rand and then he bought the sweets. Now, and then there was a few left. And then he gave out to some friends. They loved it. They wanted more, and then he said, no, go and buy. I sold out immediately. 21 rand in the pocket. Now I have 25. I went to buy another packet. I started selling that place. By the time high school, by the time my confidence went up. And then I bought a strike. I started selling strikers and then posters, and then, you know what I mean? I had 2 bags, going to school. You know what I mean? 2 bags and a school bag. And it's illegal, but now I'm doing it public. I took out the whole competition scale. I became a monopoly. I was starting to make like 100 a day, 150, 200 and all those things. And that's how my entrepreneurship journey started. I started loving entrepreneurship after that. And then I started learning. And then when my book came out, Infinite Team, I went and marketed the book everywhere. Nasema taxi, I'd stand up and say, Sangonani, what, introduce myself. Sometimes they buy, sometimes not. I did that. I went on the streets, wherever, at restaurants and everything. I'd approach people while eating. I'd be like, sorry, can I disturb? You know what I mean? Sometimes sometimes they are rude. You know, I remember there was a day this other Indian was like, you blacks are not disrespectful. I'm busy eating with my family. What are you doing here? And I said, sorry, my apologies. And I went on. You know what I mean? I didn't give up. And then this other guy saw me. He loved what I was doing. He took a picture of me with my book. That was the first picture that went up. He said, let's support a young man and everything like that. In about 5 days, that picture had been shared by 5,000 people. Interview stations started calling. But in radio stations, television stations, and that was the beginning of my journey. 500 copies sold out immediately. And then another, and another, and another. That's how, you know what I mean? Things don't come easy. You have to fetch them. It's not easy. You have to fight for this life. You know, it's not going to come to your door just because you are a good person or what. Hell no. It's a different ball game out there. You know, it's like an ocean. You're either going to be Nemo or you're going to be a shark. And I know we all have to start as Nemo, you know what I mean? You're going to start as Nemo, you can't be a shark. But as you grow, you need to become a shark. You need to become the shark of the industry. Right now, I get invited to international conferences. I stand there, I speak boldly, I intimidate Europeans and whatever it is. You find guys like from Germany and everywhere they come after the event, they're like, how do you speak with such confidence? How? And everything, you're so young and everything. You know what I mean? At the conference, like the guys are like 30, 35, whatever. Others are lawyers, others are this and this and this, and then they come and ask for tips, and I'm like, wow, what is it that you're doing through my life, God? You know what I mean? A young man like me, 20-year-old, conquering the global space. It's possible. Trust me, it's possible. That idea that you have, don't underestimate it. That idea that you have of maybe starting a brand or whatever it is, don't underestimate it. God deposits an idea into you. And it is your duty to invest into that idea, to produce those industries. You're not going to produce factories out of nothing. It starts with an idea. Infinite Tinos wants an idea. Now it's in shelves. It's a bestseller. It's an award winner. I'm an African award winner, by the way. Please clap hands. And then let me get to investing. I'm not gonna, you know, like I feel like you've learned a lot for today. There's a lot that you've consumed, so I'll just keep it short, and then we can network, share contacts, and everything like that for business purposes, please. So, investing is like saving in a bank that makes your money work for you. Instead of money has feet, guys. You need to learn that. If you don't know what to do with money, it has a plan of what to do with you. Money always wants to move. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you know, once you find money in your account, there's always going to be something. Hear this, Capitec, plus you can buy data, buy Capitec, and airtime, and what. It's always moving. If you don't
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Okay? So, you need to learn investing. Investing, let me just use the board now, just a few seconds. I wrote about a principle called the financial garden in Rethinking Black Consciousness, right? Are you still awake?
Yes.
When I say infinite teen, say live beyond the boundaries. Infinite teen.
Live beyond boundaries.
You are not convincing. Infinite teen.
Live beyond the boundaries.
Are these people who want to be millionaires?
I don't think so.
Live beyond the boundaries.
Infinite teen.
Live beyond the boundaries.
Okay, I believe you are awake. I believe financial garden, right? So this is how the market operates, right? These are the secrets that you get to learn in life. Now, so this is, let's say, the corporate world. The corporate world where everyone goes in the morning, 4 a.m. now, to go and try and be a millionaire but fail. I'm not disrespecting anyone, please forgive me if you're in the corporate world, working 9 to 5. This is what I call the financial garden, right? So people work in financial farms. So this is a financial farm. Now, and we'll say I'm a seeds. We'll say seeds are money, right? Seeds are money. And then we'll say, okay, I'll move and then you'll see. Let me write it here. Seeds, money. And then garden is a business. Figurative language. Fruits, we'll say are your needs, right? And then flowers, we'll say are your wants. Now, yeah. So this is how the corporate world works. Now, people are employed to go and work in workplaces. They are given seeds. They plant seeds every single day for that company. They are planting seeds for, right? What does that company reap? That company reaps trees out of your work. And it reaps trees. I just do research. I'm a writer, guys. I'm not an artist. So we'll say these are the trees now. Sexy, no? This is what African black people are doing every single day, 9 to 5. They are given seeds and planting for these big corporate companies. And what do they earn, right? When the month ends, one fruit is plucked from the tree. The seeds are extracted, and they are given the seeds of a tree that you planted. You plant, let's say, for example, 100,000 alone, and you get paid how much? Let's say 10,000, or even 5,000. You know what I mean? They give you seeds. What do black people do with those seeds? That seeds is money, right? They go and buy fruits, and flowers, their needs and wants, to survive another month. The cycle continues. You know what I mean? You're busy planting more and more and more and more and more and more and more trees. They expand land. They keep expanding the businesses. More branches than a KFC, another KFC there, another KFC there, another KFC there. You receive the seeds, the leftovers, while planting more and more and more trees. You know what I mean? So what should we be doing as black people right now? Because even the pension fund, what happens with the pension fund is, like, after you've worked 30 years, now, they give you one tree. On that one tree, they pluck out all the fruits, now, and then they give you all the seeds of the fruits, and then they keep the what? The tree. You understand what I mean? They keep the tree, they give you all the fruits. And then you're like, these are your lifetime earnings, 500,000. You generated probably like 5 to 10 million as an individual. And then you receive what? Let's say 500,000. And that's your lifetime earning for 30 years. Now, does that make sense? It doesn't. So now, fine, let us not go to the streets and protest. Let us rebuild the system. Let us cheat the system. Let us recreate the system so that it works for us. And this is what investing is, the purpose of investing, right? Through hustling, you can become rich, but through investing, you can become wealthy, right? So, this is hustling. Hustling, you can do literally anything. Like, you can wash cars and whatever, sell whatever to hustle now. So, hustling builds a bridge towards investment, and then investments build a bridge towards wealth, right? So we all have to hustle in order to make money, and then we then reinvest it in order to become what? Wealthy. We are basically making our money do what? Work for us. So we need to learn to hustle, and then Nati, we build our own gardens and farms. Build our own gardens and farms, meaning that we start our own businesses. Now, what the seeds that we receive from the corporate world, that we hustle from, and let's say if you receive maybe 100 seeds as income, learn to save 10 seeds. Those 10 seeds is called the 90-10 principle. Use 90 for your survival needs and wants, but take 10, save it and reinvest it, right? With those 10 seeds, what are you doing? You're planting a tree, you start your own. You understand what I mean? And then next month you plant your own. And then another month you plant another. And then you plant another. And you plant another tree. And another, and another. It depends on whatever you're investing in. Others are shares, others, you can even use like things like Forex to invest, guys. It's not a scam. You need to learn and have the knowledge. You can buy shares into company, easy equities. You know what I mean? You can, there's many investment platforms. You know what I mean? You keep planting AMA seeds. You keep planting AMA seeds. Over the years, you water those seeds. You know, because you can't just employ people. You water those seeds. You water those seeds. You water those seeds. But I remember, we are born without wealth. We are born into nothing. So we have to build. It's like basically Sitalela Emuva compared to whites and Indians and stuff. And we need to be more serious. In 5 to 10 years, are you not going to have your own trees? In 5 to 10 years, are you not going to have your own trees? Are those trees not going to produce fruits for you? Are they not going to have the seeds inside? Haven't you produced the formula for generational wealth? Why are we not doing it? You understand what I mean? And I'm not saying it's easy. But my question is, do you see that making $1 million is actually much easier than we think it is? You can't hustle your way to $1 million, but you can invest your way to $1 million. Do you understand what I mean? This is where investment comes in. Irrespective of you are an employee or you're a business person, this is where investment comes in. Everyone needs to be an investor. I believe every African needs to be an investor in this day and age in order to make it. Save the money you make at work or the profits from businesses. Start planting your own financial trees, your own money trees. Get to a point where now you employ people. that are gonna water those, you know what I mean? While you do whatever you want, reap those fruits. You understand what I mean? Take those seeds, reinvest, purchase more land. We need to buy land as Africans right now. Out of some of the earnings that I made with Infinite Team, some I used to pay my registration fee as scaler, you know. Some I used to start a clothing business. I'm sure you saw the hoodie I was wearing, a yellow one, right? Yeah, I consider it one of my, let me just show you. It's a clothing brand, a clothing line. I started off Infinite Team, you know. I did many investments. I just stopped because like it was not moving the way I wanted it to. And then I went back home. I was like, nah, man, what is it that we have? We have a lot of land. We have livestock. And then I decided to purchase like goats. Now, that's one of my investment ventures. 15 goats. 1 is male, 14 is female. Now let me show you how I'm gonna make money out of that. Just a few minutes. 14 goats, now. 14 goats. Let me just show you the mathematics. 2 minutes and we are done, now. 14 goats, 14 female, now. And then, like imbuzi, okay, the first pregnancy can give birth to 1 goat. Now, like from the second pregnancy, it gives birth to like 2 or even 3, depends. And then, like, and gives birth twice a year. So meaning, let's say if it gives birth, let's say 1, it gives birth to 1. Let's just say, you understand what I mean? 1 January to June, 1 July to December. Then it means monthly 14, they're all going to give birth to what? 2. And then 2, and that's going to equal 28. And then 28 produced plus the 14. So now that equals, plus 15, sorry, 43. But if it gives birth 2, and then it means what is this over 14 times 4. What's 14 times 4? 14, 28, and then 56, right? 56. They want to produce 56 in a year, now, plus 15. Now, 66, 71, eh? 71. Now, I invested, it was 20,000 to buy the 15. Now, I invested 20,000 to buy the 15. So, let's say if I use the same amount, and I'm with the 71, and let's say I decide to sell them all. Now, let's say in Tinisa, just to be fair, 1.5. Like, that's the price in the villages. Let's say like I sell it in Gauteng, which is 2,000 rand in Gauteng. Now, a goat. Goats are expensive this side. Now, 1.5. And I'm 1.5. No. 71 goats by 2,000 rand. Now, I would have made 142,000 in a year out of a 20,000 rand investment. Do you see what I mean? I didn't hustle for this. Mina, I'm here. The goats are at home. They are making money for me.
Yes.
I sell more books. And I'm obvious, yes. They're making money for me. You see what I mean? I sell more books, I get another 20,000, I buy another 15. Z-date. That year they're going to produce how many now? 71 times 2, 142. You understand? 142. I sell at 2,000 rand. How much do they produce? How much do I make? 284,000 rand. Wow. You find that one investment. You don't have to invest in a lot of things. Find the investment that works best for you and start multiplying on it. You understand what I mean? Start a car wash. The money that you make, invest in easy equities. If you can do Forex, you invest it into Forex. You see what I mean? And you just multiply. If you start a clothing line, you invest it into the clothing line. You make that maybe like, let's say 300 rand or 500 rand on a Monday, and then, you know, you wash up to maybe Sunday. You know what I mean? 500 times 7 days, 3.5. You invest 500 rand, go Forex or a clothing line or whatever it is. Hoodies or amakepis or whatever it is. You know, it keeps growing. It keeps growing. You do the same. You repeat and it keeps growing. You do the same. You know what I mean? It's very simple. Becoming successful is not being a jack of all trades. Being a jack of all trades is a failure. Be a master of one. Ronaldo kicks a ball. Only that's what he does his whole life. Who can't be born up pen? That's what he does. He's a billionaire. Vusi Tembekwayo speaks and starts businesses. That's what he does. Michael Schumacher drives him motor. He's just, you know what I mean? Boom! He's a millionaire. You see what I mean? Yeah. Jordan just throws a ball, bounces a ball and throws it. He's a millionaire. The money he made, he invested in Arab. He made investments. He's a billionaire. Sorry. Tiger Woods just, that's all he does. His whole life. He's a billionaire. You see what I mean? Don't try and do it all. Find your gift. If you can sing, if you can rap, or whatever it is, master that skill. It's like a puzzle, the market. Find your corner where you are and dominate. Be the best at it. Be so good at it that whenever someone thinks of doing something, they call you first. Whenever the department wants to make events, they say Mukhuri, they check me first. There are other authors and what who have been in the game, whatever. Mara, they call me first. I was not available for the event, and then my brother checked me up and I said, okay, cool, you know what? The other event has been cancelled. I'll come for free. You know, be so good at whatever it is that you're doing. Now, invest in it, read, invest in that skill, and dominate the market. Find one investment platform. Be the best at it. Dominate. You're done. You see what I mean? Don't complicate your life. Don't append him when we append, we are Tyler, when the roof, when that. You're not going to be the best. Keep it simple. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to keep it long, guys. That's my seminar for you guys. It's all about investment. It's all about hustling. It's possible. You can dominate the market. You can change your life. Trust me. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna cut it at. I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope you've enjoyed my seminar. And if you do have any questions, how many questions am I allowed to take? So we won't keep it too long.
Okay, I think we can give you 5 minutes.
5 minutes for questions, right? Cool. So yeah, that's the end of my talk, right? And if you'd like to ask any questions, I'd love questions. 5 minutes. Let's set the timer. You know, once you're in business, you learn to respect time. Time starts now.
Okay.
I see a question.
Yeah. With emphasis to time,
Yes.
and you're running a service type of business.
Right.
There are some things that you do to make your service proficient and work at its best, right? But now the thing is seeing beyond the sustainability of your services, the relevance of your services. How can you look forward to be, let's say, 50 years down the line? Like, how do you get to that point where you're just anticipating the market for 50 years down the line?
To say I'm going to be there, like, you know, my services are going
Yeah,
to be
my services will still be relevant in that time. Like, what are the cornerstones? What are the reflexes? What can you see and say, okay, these people have these trends and whatnot? What do you focus on, basically?
I think it's very difficult in today's world regarding the rapid movement of the world. You know what I mean? Yeah, like your skill. For example, I once saw a post of like a pilot and there's other camera guy there, and then now there's drones. You know what I mean? Yeah. It took 2 jobs away. So it's more of like, I feel like it's more of like always being on your toes, because it's possible that the skill, whatever it is you're investing in, might not be relevant for 50 years. You can estimate right now, you know what, I'm going to be an accountant for life. They are making machines right now which are doing the jobs for 50 accountants. You know what I mean? They set programs and stuff, and then they just... So it's all about, as he was discussing, knowledge, learning, being on board about the latest news, what's happening, reading, and all these things. You know what I mean? I just don't think there's a guarantee. You know?
Thank you.
Second question.
Okay, me, I'm going to speak or ask my question based on your educational journey. How it helped you to become where you are today? Because obviously you said you started selling sweets after having lost money and you were left with 50 bucks. So from that, this was bred. So you can say you were born from that. You learned a lesson from that. How did your education and seeing that you are a varsity student right now as I speak on behalf of my student. How do you make sure that your education works for your hustle? Because you cannot be studying something which does not help you. Just like Mr. Tinyiko is doing LLB, you cannot rob him in contracts. That's why he's studying law, so that his businesses, he can be able to protect them legally. How is your studies, or how were your studies, or how are your studies influencing your hustle? Because beyond a hustler, or before a hustler, you are a student. Sure.
No, it's I believe, I can't say it's lesson. For me,
Yeah.
it's simple. But we need to realize that education is practical. The issue right now is that we've kind of like shifted from the practicality towards making it theoretical. Education is practical in the sense that I'm studying BA in Humanities. We deal with essay writings, and we're studying global politics, geopolitics, and all these things, right? These are what I need to become successful in whatever I do, you know? So I chose BA in Humanities. I'm one of those, I've always been a rebel. They said, go be a doctor, hey, you want to be relevant? I said, no, I'm going there, you know? And I'm using that for me. It's enhancing my writing skills, my reading skills, my knowledge about geopolitics and everything that, like, if you read my book, you'll notice some of the things are coming from there. So if you can just shift from learning for e-paper, matric certificate or degree, and start learning for the value of education, I think we can benefit from that. If, let's say, I don't know what example to use, but if, let's say, you want to be an entrepreneur or something like that, be practical. You know what I mean? Choose modules and whatever that's going to work with whatever you do. Don't just be a doctor for the sake of title. Are you going to be happy? Are you going to achieve whatever you want? You know what I mean? You need to be practical and ask ourselves, why am I learning? What is the purpose of my education and everything like that? Because at the end of the day, it's just, you know, you get the degree, but you're not guaranteed to get a job in today's day and age. You know what I mean? So those are some of the important things that I think we should look at. Are you fully answered?
Fully, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question?
Sorry, how much is your book, Infinity?
My book Infinity is 200 Rand, and I have a few copies if you are interested in buying. Yeah, and I'll just write my handles, and then you can follow up on my work and also get in touch if there is anything else that I've not addressed that you feel, or maybe you'd like assistance with something like that. Any other questions?
A 20-year, you said. Can I give him a round of applause?